Kate Turner stepped gingerly on the crisp, ice-dusted leaves and tried not to slip and land on her backside. She couldn't see where she trod because of the large plastic containers in her arms. The sky was so blue it looked like a scene from a children's picture book, and her breath plumed out in white clouds and rose up toward the pale winter sun. She leaned against the door of the pear tree café, and it yielded. A friendly tinkle of bells above her head heralded her arrival. The café was full and warm and noisy. The smell of fresh coffee was rich in the air. Condensation dribbled down the windows and clouded the view of the frosted world outside. A few people raised their heads from their cappuccinos and waved. Matt turned from the steaming black and silver coffee machine and grinned at her. "Thank God," he said, banging hot coffee grounds out of the portafilter and filling it back up with freshly ground coffee. "We ran out of caramel brownies this morning. I thought there was going to be a riot." Matt's hair was permanently unkempt and right now was standing on end, like one of those trendy hairstyling adverts. He had a habit of running his hand through it when he was stressed, which only made it worse. Some might call his unruly mop ginger, but he insisted it was strawberry blonde. A voice from across the cafe called out, "Did I hear someone say brownies?" Matt cleared a space on the counter, and Kate put the boxes down with some relief. She could feel her cheeks burning red in the heat, and she unwound her scarf. Her newly straightened hair was already beginning to kink. "Over here," she called, "hot off the press." There was a scraping of chairs as regulars clambered over sleeping dogs and Christmas shopping to claim chunks of Kate's cakes. "I've brought some more mince pies, orange and chocolate chunk shortbread, and Rocky Road as well," said Kate. "You're a lifesaver," said Matt. "Carla, can you come over here and take these cake orders, please?" He picked up a check pad and handed it to the young waitress, who was instantly encircled by a small crowd of sugar-deprived customers. Matt took up his post back at the coffee machine, and Kate sidled around the counter to perch on a stool next to the coffee grinder. "What can I get you?" he asked. Matt poured 2 shots of espresso into a wide-brimmed cup and added steamed milk. A flick of his wrist as the liquid reached the top made a caramel leaf pattern in the latte. He placed the cup on the counter behind him for Carla to deliver and began the next order. "Just a flat white, please," Kate said, as she slipped out of her coat and laid it across the back of a battered old sofa. "Wow," said Matt. "You look lovely. Where are you off to?" Kate brushed her hand self-consciously over the floral tea dress and pulled her cardigan closer around her. "Is it too much?" she asked. "Too much for what?" "You know," said Kate conspiratorially. She leaned forward and whispered, "For the first date." Recognition dawned on Matt's face. "Oh, yes," he said. "I'd forgotten about that. Yes, it is too much. Go home and put on baggy jeans and a turtleneck jumper." Kate poked her tongue out at him. "Well, well, well," said Matt. "The 12 shags of Christmas, eh?" He grinned and looked at her expectantly. "Will you stop saying that?" she hissed. "You know perfectly well it's the 12 dates of Christmas." "That's not what they're saying on Facebook," said Matt, shaking his head in mock disapproval. "Well, then you'd better get some classier Facebook friends," said Kate. The 12 Dates of Christmas was the brainchild of the Lightning Strikes dating website. 12 dates in 12 different locations in the weeks leading up to Christmas. It wasn't cheap, but the choice of date venues was varied, and the more Kate had read about them, the more she had to admit that it might actually be fun. It wasn't something she would normally have bothered with. Kate was not the kind of woman who needed a man, but equally she thought she might quite like one. Her last long-term relationship had fizzled out some time ago, and it was mostly down to laziness that she hadn't dated much since. She supposed she had the opportunity to meet people when she was in the city, but that would mean having to go out and socialise after work, and really she just wanted to come home and eat pie in front of the telly. And as for meeting someone new in Blexford, people generally moved here to start a family or retire. There was a distinct lack of eligible bachelors buying up property in the sleepy village.